for you in a typical case, is there a moment that decides the case?
There was one I had last year, which is interesting. A doctor got arrested for drink driving. He crashed into a barrier. This was observed by a foreign national driver, truck driver, and he was a vital witness. Guards couldn't get a statement out of him because he wouldn't make a statement. I had got into court to try and get the case dismissed because this person who was vital to the case had not made a statement. And the judge said, well, look, guard, can you get a synopsis of what he intends to say in court at the trial and give it to Mr. Horan? And the guard did his best, he did do that. And the day of the trial came along, and we were there. I told my client, look, this is not easy, it depends on what this guy is going to say. And the judge said, well, because there's a civilian witness here, the foreign national driver, I'm going to give your case priority. So she said, I'll deal with it at 12. So 12 came along, but because there was a whole flood of family law cases coming in, domestic violence cases coming in, she had to deal with those first. They were given priority. So we got pushed back to 12:30. Then it got pushed back to 1 o'clock. Then it was into 2 o'clock. Then it was 2:30. All these cases kept coming in. And I could see that the foreign national driver getting more and more agitated, and he was walking in circles, getting agitated. And at about 2:45, I saw him going over to the guard, and he was pointing at his watch and getting really angry, and he marched away. Now he was a vital witness, and I could see him marching away. And I watched him, and he got into a lift, he went down, and I watched him going into the lift, down to the floor, and walking out. And I walked over to the guard and said, what's happening? He said, he's leaving. He's got to work at 2 o'clock in the morning. He's not staying around anymore. And our case was called maybe 15 minutes later. I said, we can't proceed as the witness. And the judge struck it out. That was a hinge of fate moment there, because had he stayed on, we would have had a much more difficult case. But because he left in that moment, it changed everything.